welcome to the Kam Johal Show. Today, my guests are two young men that have been friends for a long time, and what they've basically done is started a business that a lot of people don't think about as a business, but these guys are traveling internationally with their business now, and they're recognized throughout the world for what it is they do. But they didn't follow the traditional route that a lot of our community members follow. And I'm going to let you listen to their story, and I hope it inspires some of those people that are sitting at home today thinking that I don't really want to follow the traditional career route and make my own way in life. So without further ado, my dear friends Sukh and Raj, welcome to the show.
How you doing?
Good. Nice to see you guys.
And you?
Okay, so I want to take you back to you guys when you're 14, 15 years old. How did you meet?
We had mutual friends, and I was already DJ. I'm a bit older than Sukh, so
He is.
So I was DJing sort of college then uni, and then Sukh was playing Doll.
I was a door player, yeah. I got into daytimers.
Yeah, doing a few events and stuff.
Oh, those things, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where it all started.
But then we got introduced because I sort of wanted to, because on the club scene there wasn't great money in doing it, and I'd done all the uni stuff. I wanted to sort of set up the Roadshow side, and I think Sukh had the same idea. And then we just got together and we sort of grew it really organically from there, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
What inspired you to start?
Well, we always had a love for music, and we always wanted to make, like I said, the money wasn't great on the club scene, so we wanted to make a bit more money, invest in some stuff, and take it, forward as a bit of a business. And I suppose at that time it was like there was a couple of Birmingham DJs that were quite big, a couple of the London ones. There was one or two floating about in Leicester, and we just thought, there's something that we can get together and we can definitely do something. And yeah, we basically did, yeah.
Okay, so you were at school or at college by this time?
I was
first year college.
Yeah, so I was just sort of just coming out of uni basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, because the interesting thing is, both of you graduated, didn't you?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Both got an education.
Yeah, excellent.
Mhm.
Well, look, it's a great thing to fall back on, right?
Yeah.
So your folks are, watching these two young guys performing at the weekends?
Yeah.
Mainly weekends, yeah.
Weekends.
Yeah.
And so, was there any conflict? Did parents talk about, listen, barla tumhara?
Yeah. It started off quite rough at first, to be honest with you. when we got into it, it was putte kaam karne hai, I mean, late nights, gonna start drinking, gonna start doing.
I remember one of the first bookings we did. The client paid us in a check. We didn't used to do contracts and nothing.
Of course.
I think we were DJing at someone's house, in Oadby, and it was like a pre-wedding. And where were we charging? The check bounced.
Okay.
And my dad was like, "Is this what you're doing on the weekends? You're going to people's houses to DJ, and the check bounces." And so it was definitely a struggle.
Yeah.
And then again, when you first start in any business, you have to start, I suppose, when we were that young, you have to start quite cheap.
Of course.
We were literally going out for 100, 150 pounds. We used to have a residency on Belgrave Road, a place called Lyle Restaurant. Remember it?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
So we used to go. I think we were there every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
And it was 150. If we weren't that busy, we get 100 quid.
Wow.
And if you had a drink,
yeah,
you used to get taken off our final payment.
But it was like that kind of stuff. And we were coming in the back of our car with our equipment and literally taking up the stairs and literally started with zero equipment.
You started from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Which is, that's what everybody has to do, right? Because, obviously I don't know much about your family, but Raj, your family's very successful property developers, right?
Yeah.
So you could have got into that business, couldn't you?
Yeah. Well, I have on Monday to Friday, but
yeah,
this is almost another full-time business in itself, so definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So family business, what's your background?
No, working class. My dad worked in Walker's Crisps for 45 odd years.
Fantastic.
Mum was in a factory for 40 odd years, so they're retired now.
Yeah.
So just working class, but that's why they didn't really want me to get into music. They're like, Barla, Kosh Panja, one of them ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, I'm doing it as a passion, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm getting some money for it on the weekends.
Okay.
But not to the extent to where we are today. I wasn't expecting it to grow that the way it has.
So at what point do you think, right, we've graduated, and we're not going to go and follow a career. We're going to do this as our main income, main business.
To be honest, it was before we graduated that things took off for us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember college was a struggle trying to get through college because we were doing events on the weekends, and we were trying to save up money at the same time to buy more equipment and do things. So then weekdays I'd have a little part-time job just to get me by, sort of thing. And Raj was at uni at the time as well. So, but by the time we hit, I think Raj graduated, and by the time I hit uni, it started taking off for us, and that's when I decided to stay local.
Okay.
To Leicester and not go out of uni because I wanted to concentrate on the business. And it just it was a gradual step, wasn't it, Raj?
Yeah.
But everything was gradually done, but it was done very naturally. If that makes sense. Nothing was forced or anything.
I mean, to save cost as well, like we were using his garage initially to. I mean, he used to get so busy. I used to have to jump to the back of the garage and swim over stuff just to get like the odd microphone or whatever. And then we were like, look, we've got to take it to the next level. We're going to have to spend, we've got to expect it to accumulate. So we had to then get a unit, get vans in and stuff like that. And then you could start charging more. You go from your restaurants to your pre-weddings to your wedding receptions to your destination weddings, top-end weddings. You get a different kind of clientele. So we did progress quite naturally in that sense. So yeah, but it was literally like you said, started from the bottom, and then we could see that the money was there to be made. We were getting busier and busier, and we were getting to the stage where we had to turn down a lot of weddings because we were so busy, especially during like your peak times and your bank holidays.
And that hurt, turning weddings away. Well,
money,
what's going on with turning weddings away?
Yeah.
And it hurt in a way, but that's when we started to grow the team and started expanding and getting. We got more DJs now. There's Paz, there's Rex, there's quite a few of us.
Fantastic.
And we've got more hosts, more DJs, we've got staff.
So
and that's how we grew.
I want to keep you at this starting point, right?
Yeah.
Because I consult in business and I consult businesses, and I get this kind of get rich quick attitude that's out there. So we watch this reality TV where people are getting huge prizes for what seems to be not a lot of work. And so a lot of people have this kind of attitude of that it isn't hard work, that you don't have to grind it out. I remember working 7 days a week. When I first started my business, my mum would say, she was going nuts. I had this beautiful office job, suit and tie, management trainee, and I came and started doing my own markets. And she used to say, look at you now, you don't even shave, suit and tie. And I would say to my mum, I said, Mum, I used to look as if I had money when I was in that job.
Yeah.
Now I actually have it.
Yeah.
There's a big difference, right?
100%.
So what kept you there? Because they couldn't have been easy times when you were earning £100 for a night and humping gear up those stairs. I remember that little club, tiny little place, right?
Yeah, little restaurant. Yeah.
And so, what kept you going?
I think at that time, because we had still had a lot of age on our side, and I think our parents probably thought it was going to be a bit of a phase as well.
Of course, they'll grow up and realise and get proper jobs.
I think we knew quite quickly we probably were going to be in for the long run, and I think it also helped that because our weddings are quite, especially if you take a non-Asian person to an Asian wedding, they are very top end.
Yes.
Even the average Punjabi wedding, the expenditure's got to be 30-40k easy.
Absolutely.
So there's always a good market to be had there. So yeah, in terms of
a lot of it had to do with the passion.
Yeah.
It was growing. It was the compliments we were getting, the people that we were meeting. I mean, we went from being nobodies. Like we came on the circuit, and there were I hate to say it, but there were other DJs out there looked down at us like, what you guys doing? You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And within a year or two, it was the opposite. It was these guys are the new kids on the block, Raj and Sukh. We were shaking hands with people we didn't know and heard a lot about you, and just that did keep us going for a long time. We're like, Raj, look at the compliments we're getting, look at people loving us, and it's just smiles and happy faces all around.
Right?
Yeah, it was recognition. I mean,
we appreciated. And that's what we like. We like to be appreciated, and that's exactly how it was going. And on top of that, we were getting paid for what we do, what we loved, what we loved doing.
I suppose then it doesn't feel like as much of a job, because if you're doing what you love, obviously the setting up, the packing away, the contracts, the quotes, the admin stuff, the client meetings, they're not always like glamorous and fun.
To start with, it was hard, wasn't it, Raj? Because me and Raj literally just us two in the car, our seats when we're driving were like right to the steering wheel, and the back of it had speakers, lights, wiring.
Yeah.
And we'd get there and we had a little routine. Raj was like, right, so you take the stuff out the car,
Yeah.
I'll take the first load out, I'll start setting up, you keep bringing things in. And we'd literally get there, we'd sweat buckets for an hour and a half setting up, then we'd quickly, wipe our faces and stuff, DJ for 3-4 hours, then pack down, and then drive back, falling asleep on the steering wheel,
Yeah.
trying to get home. And
Yeah.
and even then, we got that tired sometimes, we didn't even offload the car, we're like, you know what, Raj, leave it in the car, come back tomorrow and take it, I'm too tired.
Again, that's when we said, we've got to take more staff on now, because you can't be setting up for 3-4 hours, then DJ for 6-7 hours, then pack away.
Yeah.
Especially now, we've got to get home to the families and stuff.
Yeah, that was the early days, wasn't it?
Yeah, like the door player used to double up as the roadie, top his wage up as well. But
Well, the thing is that those are the things that nobody sees, right?
no,
So
exactly.
when you're on stage performing, that's the bit that everybody gets
That's all
to
they
see,
see, yeah.
right?
That's right.
So I liken that to the swan that you see above the water.
Mm.
It glides along,
Yeah.
then underneath there's all this paddling going
That's
on,
it,
right?
yeah.
And that's what life's like.
Yeah.
But the thing is that what you guys did was you realised. So a lot of Asian businesses can't scale and can't grow because A, they don't trust anybody, and then eventually we all run out of cousins, right? So we can't grow a business. And so that happens, and then it stops you from scaling, and then you start obviously contracting that business because you either grow
Yeah,
or you go backwards,
that's
right?
Yeah.
So, but you realised quite early on that you needed a team of people,
That's right.
right? And so now, you have 3 vans.
We've got three vans.
Yeah.
We hire a lot into.
We hire a lot in as well
So-
when it gets really busy,
Yeah.
because 3 vans are consistently out all the time.
Okay.
But then sometimes, some weekends, we need 5-6 vans. But it's no point having them vans, so we
Sure.
hire them in straight.
Well, that's great,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you equalise the supply and the demand.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
So you guys have got the capacity to be doing like 5 or 6 different functions on any given day.
Yeah, we can do up to 4 comfortably.
Yeah,
And we have taken on 5 or 6, and then we lose the quality sometimes when we think, you know what,
Sure.
it's about quality control with us.
That's right.
We want to make sure every wedding we do is the same standard. Not, Sukh and Raj Bands Biasi, 3 of them were fantastic, but the other 2 customers weren't happy. We don't want that.
We learned that
So-
quickly. You can't take on too
Quality,
much.
right?
Yeah,
You want
100%.
the quality.
Yeah.
Can't get
quality
rich
anyway.
quick. It's not
Yeah.
one of them ones, no.
Yeah. Please say that again. You can't
Get rich quick.
No such thing
Yeah,
is there,
it,
right?
it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Go and do the lottery.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do.
If that's what you want, yeah.
I mean, I like me and Sukh say this a lot. We talk about this a lot as well. We always had a hunger and a drive and a passion that we always had it within us. And to be fair, if you look at the other sort of good reputable DJs out there now, we can whenever we rarely meet them, you can tell they've got the same hunger, the same sort of drive and determination. I see kids now on social media they're good, talented DJs, no doubt about it. But there's a reason they're not in the Roadshow game, and they could be making a lot more money. They haven't got the drive and the determination and the organisation and the other skills, because you need the A to Z. You can turn if you want to do a club night or maybe DJ for another Roadshow under their banner and just do maybe 10 or 15 of them a year. You can do that. But to do it the way we've done it, and like I said, a lot of the other sort of top DJs out there, to do it from A to Z, to start from the back of your car to then own, unit, have, X amount of staff, X amount of vans, update your equipment every year and spend a lot of money on that you really need hunger, drive, passion, determination, consistency. There's a lot of things that go into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you do pull your hair out. You won't get like a nightmare client. Me and him will kill each other sometimes. Do you know what I mean? So you do, but you do reap the rewards as well.
Yeah.
And like I always said as well, like I'm really into football. Like when a footballer scores a goal, for us, when we drop a mix and you see people, the dance floor's full, and you see people put their hands up, and like sometimes when you're on someone's shoulders at a wedding, we've seen you once or twice. I think.
Have you?
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
That was you. And then, that makes it all worthwhile.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? And you make a few video clips, you look back at him, and you get a big buzz off that.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been for us. Even to this day, doing it 15 years, there's nothing that beats that.
Well, there's nothing worse, is there, than you guys belting out whatever you think is great. There's nobody
No.
dancing to
And there's
that,
no
right?
reaction. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the ultimate cold shoulder, right?
Yeah,
That's it, yeah.
exactly.
But the thing is that what you've alluded to, what you're saying is that you run this thing like a business.
Yeah.
Right? Because I see so many businesses, like you said, they're having a pop here and a pop there. There's
Yeah.
no real direction to this thing. So, and every time I see a successful, well-run business, it has systems, has structure, and it has a clear goal for
Yeah.
where the owners want to take that
Yeah,
business.
consistency.
Yeah.
is key.
Right. And so that's the big difference between. I mean, you must have come across lots of people in your time that were DJing when you started and got nowhere.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
because they don't want to invest in equipment.
yeah. I mean, some of them had even had the best intentions, but like I said, you have to have the whole package without sounding like you're bragging. But you've got to have the quality of your work. You've got to have your customer service has to be on point. If someone rings you and you miss their call, ring them straight back. Someone emails you, do you know what I mean? You've got to be really on the ball. Like I said, it has to be absolutely A to Z. And like you said, to run a business, it's got to be from top to bottom.
Yes.
You know, so I think that, again, that's probably how me and Sukh work quite well, because I tend to run the office side quite well, because I'm probably good at dealing with customers, doing quotes, contracts, even like asking like the key information before the big day. You know, getting the first dance on all their photos. Sukh will arrange the staff.
Logistics.
He'll put them into line, and you know, because that's just, you know, getting the staff on time. Imagine if someone pulls out they're ill on a Friday and you've got 4 events on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You've got to get cover. You've got to make sure you're at the venue on time. Do we have to stay in a hotel if you're DJing? You know,
health and safety, everything.
There's so many things that go into it. So you really have to be on top of things. Again, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. Becomes, you know, second nature. But again, you have to be really organised initially.
Well, again, you're a business and you're a team, so you've got clearly defined roles, each of you.
Yeah.
So if you look at any classic businesses, right? So each business has a visionary and an integrator, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And some of those integrators you've never even heard of.
That's right. Yeah.
So Warren Buffett, Charlie Munger is his integrator.
That's right.
Right, and until recently we'd never heard of him. So if you can do that, and it clearly is that you've done that, and then it all works, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about something else. You know, our community, everything is cheap, right? You're obviously not in that bracket.
No.
So how do you cope with that when, you know, what's the conversation that you have then?
You know what it is? We get a lot of clients that ring us up, and they'll try and bounce it off other DJs and other people in the industry and say, you know what, this person's quoting this much, this person's quoting this much, and we don't entertain it. We're like, look, if you've seen our work, you've seen our quality, this is what we charge. We're not here to undercut another DJ or anything like that. This is what we're charging, this is what they charge. It's up to you what you want to go with at the end of the day. And we're not here to underball. And that's what Indian business is all about. They're all underballing each other.
Yeah.
If it's not in the wedding industry or any other industry that all upbringing are into, all Indians are into, they're underballing each other. And that's the whole reason why a lot of businesses will fail more than succeed, because at the end of the day, you're just making a wage. You're not making a business.
Yeah. One of the biggest reasons for failure of a business is they simply don't charge enough.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
Right? Because there's hidden costs to a business that you don't see,
100%.
right?
Loads of overheads.
You need to recognise your worth as well, which does, sometimes you have to put your neck on the line a bit, and you will probably in the short term suffer. To turn around, you know, sometimes you might have a date free and someone could think, oh, I'm just sitting there billing, should we take it on? But no. Because then you start dropping your price gradually.
You're coming down the mountain,
You've got to keep a certain level.
Yeah.
You know, you might be able to do the odd one. Someone's getting married on a Wednesday in January. Do you know what I mean? You can do an offer.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you've got to stick to your price. You've got to keep your quality.
And it's not fair on others. If other people are paying top money, and then you give the same package to somebody else for half the price.
Yeah.
I'm
a big believer in that.
You can't do that.
You know, I remember when I had my estate agency business, a client of ours asking, say, can you reduce it to so-and-so? I said, to be honest with you, I could do it for free.
Can do, yeah.
Right? You know, I don't need the money,
Yeah.
but it's totally unfair. So we were a transparent estate agency business. You know, you could see the price that we charged to sell a house online, in the paper. So everybody knew. So I said, my model is that everybody pays the same. So traditionally, you're negotiating fees with an agent, aren't you? And you never know. It's a bit like flights and holidays.
That's right, yeah.
You know, how sickening is it when you find out the guy in the sunbed next door to you paid half the price?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So
that's disheartening, isn't it?
It is.
That's the main thing. That puts you really like this. Yeah.
So, which is exactly what you're talking about. So I said to this guy, I could do it for free, but I'm not going to, because that's unfair to the rest of my clients.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Which is a fantastic attitude, isn't it?
That's the way it should be with everyone.
Yeah.
It should be the same, yeah.
And the other thing, of course, is you only need a certain amount of clients.
That's right, yeah.
So you guys can't go to every wedding.
No, 100%. Yeah.
You know, and you'll never get 100% of any market.
No, I mean, before social media came, that was obviously a game changer for us.
Yeah.
We never used to advertise anywhere. I think
there was no
Well,
Facebook, no Instagram.
No, there was these
no Snapchat.
wedding directories that were huge. There was so many of these
Yeah.
magazines, and we used to get a call off every single one saying we're different, we're different. It was all word of mouth,
Mhm.
and now because we've got quite a solid customer base, you end up doing loads of different cousins' weddings, and you get to know the family as well, which is quite fun as well.
Yeah.
But you've got your core clientele then, and then you just branch off that anyway. So yeah, like you said, I think social media is key and advertising is, but
Now it's an easy platform for people to jump onto,
yeah,
which is a good thing. You should take advantage of it as well, but you got to do it the right way.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started, what was it? High Five, back in the days.
maybe MySpace,
And little
Yeah,
pages like that, and
yeah.
and they weren't that big then because not everyone had data on their
No.
phone and all these smartphones.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
smartphones and
yeah.
broadband changed the game, didn't
yeah,
it? for
I
those things?
remember when we started, Raj, and me and Raj started, and we're like, what we're gonna do? We need to get some business cards made, and we got them made, and I dropped it off to every Indian shop in Leicester, Birmingham, Coventry,
Butchers,
in the
sweet
butcher, in the
centre.
meat shops, the mithai shops, and that was the way to do it. Then if you're not DJing on a Saturday, all right, so put a coat on. You're going around Leicester putting flies out the whole Leicester.
Yeah.
So that's the way it was. But now it's all social media.
Yeah,
One
but
click and everyone can see it.
But the thing is, that's easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's so much more competition as well, isn't
Yeah,
there?
100%.
way more.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
So when you're having to do legwork, like you
Yeah.
said, you've got to actually physically go around.
Yeah.
And and most of the time, who wants to do that? Because all you want to do is play music, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
why you started the
Yeah,
business.
yeah,
But that's the way to grow, though, isn't it, Cam? If you want something so bad, you're willing to get up and just go and get it.
Well, the thing is this: the upside, as you alluded to, the benefits are great, right?
We get to go to different venues, meet
Yeah.
different people.
Yeah. Well, you
No.
get to live a great life, don't you? You make some make great friends.
Yeah, definitely.
It's always
Right.
different.
100%.
So that's nice, and as guys, we get to get some nice toys as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Right. So that all helps. But the thing is, it all starts from having a plan and executing it,
100%, yeah.
and doing the work, the early days, work that nobody sees.
That's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sticking at it's the main thing.
Yeah. So I'm sitting on the sofa now watching you two guys. I'm 14, 15, right? And I've got my parents want me to go to school
Yeah.
and follow the traditional, be an accountant, be a doctor. And I understand why parents want that,
Best intentions, yeah.
right? Because generally speaking, especially our community is not brilliantly well educated, and we want our children to be professionals, and we love them, we want to protect them, right? So what if I'm sitting on the sofa now, I'm 14, 15, I'm thinking of doing something like you guys are doing, or going into sports, or whatever it is? What advice would you give to those kids? You can speak into the camera. What are you going to say to your parents?
Well, first of all, you've got to have the talent, and don't be afraid to ask someone and just say, am I good? Or it's just that I think I'm good. Because you get some of these singers on these singing shows, and how bad are they when they walk in, right? So you've got to be good, but you've got to be dedicated. In terms of your parents, I think the way we did it is you can still get an education and do it, but you've got to be. I mean, I work 7 days a week flat out. I do the family business stuff, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday I'm DJing. Monday I'm straight back in the office. Monday I'm doing the school run for the kids. I'll drop my eldest off at school, youngest one off at nursery, and I'm in the office for 9. That's every Monday. And the weekend will be tiring, but it's just if you love that job, and then you've got the commitments, you've got to do it. But as far as kids go, again, I mean, I used to sneak out to some gigs. I'm not going to lie, 100%. And I'm not advocating that at all. But I'm just saying
Got to have a balance.
yeah, you've got to fight for it as well, but you've got to as well. I think you should pursue the education side of things.
100%.
Do that thing on the side. See if you can grow it organically again, because it's not going to happen overnight. A new DJ, we see an advert for a new DJ or a roadshow every other week.
Yeah, of course.
They don't last. A lot of them don't,
Yeah.
and there's a reason for that. But if you think you've got the passion and the drive to do it, and you've got a couple of people to do it with, that always helps. Try and do both, and then I guess you will come to probably a crossroads at one point. If you can continue to do both, great. This is.
But that's a rare thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
But you guys are fairly academic, right? So you went and graduated, but that's quite a rare thing to have want to do something that's not educational based
Yeah.
and be
yeah,
good at that.
Yeah.
And then because if somebody's it's very difficult to concentrate. Soon as I knew at the age of about 15 that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, that was all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
Nothing else. And every minute I spent thinking about that. So in that, you know, if that's all somebody's head is filled with,
Yeah.
right? Would you still say, look, try and knuckle down and get school out the way?
You've got safety net. You've got something to fall back on
Sure.
as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, now I think our generation, or maybe not that much older than we can, but like your kids, you were pushing towards education. My kids, obviously, they're like, 6 and 2. We're definitely, you know, I send my kids private school because I want them to have the best education.
Yeah.
But if they grow up and they're not academic, or they're more sporty, or they're more musical, I'll support them in that. But I'll say, go and get your degree.
Yeah.
Go and get your qualifications, because you've always got that to fall back on. That's always there on your CV.
Yeah.
And then even living out of university, that's life experience as well.
You got to have education. You got to have hobbies as well.
Yeah.
You got to have a balanced lifestyle.
Both, yeah.
I think looking back, you know, if any of my children were talented in sport or music, you know, there was a time when my son was just upstairs in our TV room, constantly on games.
Yeah.
And I didn't discourage that, right? Because that can earn you a huge amount of money.
Now it can,
Right? So I'll tell you a little story that I read this morning, actually. And so I didn't discourage that. So I think had they shown that they were really interested in something, they had a few little hobbies and all of that kind of stuff. But, you know, as you said, you know, you push and you try and do the best. So, you know, and that's how it's turned out.
Yeah,
So
it's a hobby. It's a hobby that turned into a business the way we wanted it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so natural, because we enjoyed every step of the way. We've enjoyed what we did.
Yeah.
At the same time, we kept our parents happy. Went to university. You know, they're happy. Like, okay, degree melgi, and at the same time, we went to the same time, and they're happy. As well.
Your clients can tell that as well. Like, they'll feed off when we're behind the decks. They'll feed off that, and even just your broadband. You know, if someone rings you for an inquiry, you don't sound completely disinterested. You know, you sound enthusiastic on the phone, and it's not just a simple, let me take your details, I'll get back to you. You know, you ask the right questions. You know, people feel comfortable with you. And again, so like you're saying, you're going back to someone's interested in their young kid. Get that across to people. So if you've got that enthusiasm, it will come across naturally.
Absolutely.
You don't try. It's just a natural thing.
Yeah. How much of that is education? How much of that is upbringing? Because obviously your father's a very successful businessman. So how much of that comes from
I've got
there?
a lot of business acumen off him, 100%.
Yeah.
And probably the way I speak to clients and run the office side is down to education as well. And then it's part enthusiasm as well.
Yeah.
Like I say, no one likes sending out a ton of emails and doing all the correspondence, but it's got to be done. So yeah, it's a good mixture of both, 50-50, I'd always say. Yeah.
So I'm from your background in the sense that both my parents worked in factories.
Yeah.
So, you know, and then apart from work hard, get an education, save money, there was no advice in terms of being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Was that the same for you?
Yeah, it was same, because my parents were working class, so they were like, you know, "Asi padhe nahi gaye hai na, asi dhakke khaya, you get yourself an education, you'll find it easier." And I was like, I'll do the education bit because that's what you guys want, and I'll do that, but I do want to pursue this because I could see the vision. I knew where I was going with it, and I wanted to carry on doing it. And I'd say to even kids, I mean, if you believe in something, follow it. If you follow it and you think you're gonna succeed, carry on doing it. Don't stop. But also, don't upset your parents either. Try and keep them happy as well. Because at the end of the day, you live together as well, don't you? And if you believe in something, you got to keep them happy because, you know, they brought you up and everything as well.
Well, they love you, right?
Yeah, of course, they love you.
Protect
They want the best for you.
And
best
the thing
interest.
is, and I don't think that any parent purposely advises badly.
Yeah.
You may not like it at the time.
Yeah.
Because you want to do something else, right?
Yeah, 100%.
But those are the only two people that don't get paid a bean to offer you advice.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah.
Right? So if they're saying they're only, as you said, my parents are exactly the same. They weren't educated. So you try and give your children what you didn't get.
Yeah.
So that's what all your parents are trying to do for you.
That's exactly what it is, yeah.
Right? Nothing else. And take it with a pinch of salt.
That's it.
And learn that they are only talking about their own life experiences.
Their experience, because they don't want you to go through the same thing. That's exactly what it is.
Because three of us sat on the sofa. So dad is an entrepreneur, passes that on. Right?
That's right.
Our parents, our dads weren't entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So where did you get that? Did you get that guidance? Did you use Raj for that? Or was there another relative that you looked to?
One, my chachas were quite in the music industry as well. So he lives in Canada. His name is Bobby Nagra. So he's really well connected with Jazzy and Shinda and all these guys.
Okay.
And I rang him and I said, Chacha, look, Dad's not happy with me. He's saying this. He goes, Kora main gal karta hai." He goes, look, you carry on doing it as long as you get an education and keep your dad happy. And I said, cool, that's fine, I'll do that. And then I think Raj plays a big part as well, because when me and Raj met each other, we had each other to fall back on. We always made decisions together. And when you got someone with you to do that, you think, you know what, nothing's stopping me. I've got someone next to me that's got the same vision as me, that wants the exact same thing as me. And I think we bounced off each other quite a lot. And that helped us as well. So it's always good to have that back support from your parents. So I'd say to parents, 100%, if your kids want to do something, try and support them, because they need that push from their parents. And same, if you've got friends or a business partner or family around you, it's always good to bounce off each other and help each other, because that's the only way. That's where upbringing go wrong. Upbringing, if someone's doing well, they'll kick him under the carpet. They'll be like, he's doing well, why am I not doing well? It's not that. That's the problem with Punjabis, I think. I think they think he's better than me, I don't want that. We've got to help each other, we've got to push each other. And that's the only way we're going to get there together.
Well, that's the idea of people like us talking. We were speaking just before the show started that the problem with our community is if we make it and get to the top, the first thing we do is pull the ladder up so nobody else comes. Right? What we want to do is put another ladder there so others can grow. Because one thing is that there's enough money in this world. There's 7.5 billion people here. We've got more than enough money to make every man, woman and child a millionaire.
Yeah.
So there's an abundance, not scarcity. Right? The other thing that I just wanted to take you back slightly is that it shows the strength of our families and our communities, that you can go to a Chacha or a Taya or a Mama and they'll always indulge you, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Right? Or grandparents.
Yeah, you need family. Your family always needs to be there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helped me a lot as well, because if you think your parents are not agreeing with you, you got your Chacha, Taya, Bua, if they can help you out, just bring them up, say I need your help.
Yeah.
And that helped me a lot. And like I said, Raj, even when me and Raj met each other, we didn't know each other.
No.
So when we got introduced, we had that understanding and that trust with one another, and we built that up. And because of that, we fell on each other and we grew together. I think that always helps.
And if you don't have any family that you can initially go to, sort of prove them wrong, sort of do what you're good at, keep getting better at it, you'll eventually get their respect. And then if you do need a bit of their advice, trust me, they'll come running to you. They will.
Yeah, there's nothing like having success to there's different things that motivate different people.
That's right, yeah.
Right? So some people are motivated by challenges. There's a few people that said to me, "Oh, you'll never amount to anything," and I think we've all heard those.
It always
right?
happens, yeah.
So you use that to fuel you and push you forward, right? And the other thing that is coming out of these conversations is family. So we live in a society that doesn't really value family on the whole, right? So we were talking again about these lavish weddings. They're only lavish to outsiders. They're normal weddings to us, aren't they?
Yeah.
400, 500, 600 people, 40, 50,000, 100,000 pounds on a wedding is not an abnormal amount of money to spend on our community weddings.
Yeah.
So nobody has those, right? We have them and a few other communities.
Yeah.
But certainly mainstream communities in this country don't have that kind of lifestyle.
No, they don't.
They don't have the same values for family.
Yeah.
And I think, yes, you guys are younger than me, so I value those. So where are you with those things? Because I think that is what is unique about our community, and we should, especially youngsters, get to know your uncles and your aunts and your cousins, right? And stick together, because in times of adversity, they're the only ones that will help you.
Yeah, 100%.
What would you say?
Yeah, 100% agree with you. I mean, family is a big thing with us. Like you said, even taking it back to us, obviously, on the weddings as well. It's just huge. But in terms of family values, what's more important in life than family? I remember we've got some cousins in Canada who we didn't know we had until about 10, 15 years ago, because the relations got lost from back in the day. And then my Bibby, who was brought up by her Massey, they met at a wedding in Swindon.
Wow.
And then we got introduced to guys. Oh, you got some family in Canada, and they're exactly like us. We met them, and they're like a mirror image.
Well,
they're
you're blood, aren't you?
Literally, same blood, same DNA. We got like a house on fire So yeah, 100%. You know, family is the most important thing, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah.
Fantastic. So that leads us nicely on. You're both family men. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Children, child.
Yeah.
So how does, you go to this fantastic wedding and you spend a weekend there and there's 600-700 people. So it's all over on Sunday night, right? So Sunday night you obviously get home, but that's not really home. You fall into bed. So you get up on Monday morning. So Raj, you talked about the school run.
Yeah.
Right? So Monday morning, school run. Yeah? I spent 10 years in and out of Dubai. So fabulous hotels, 5-star living. Then exactly like yourself, come home. Now you've got to clean your own shower in the morning.
Yeah.
Right? You think, oh God. Right? How do you adjust to that?
You do. I mean, it's a big sacrifice as well. I mean, a lot of people, obviously, they'll work the 9 to 5 or Monday to Friday, whatever, and they'll get to see their kids and stuff on the family. I do miss out on that quite a bit. So that's one thing as well. I mean, my wife's really good at that as well.
How old are the kids?
So 6 and 2, so they're at a bit of a key age as well.
Okay.
So I mean, occasionally I'll take the older one sometimes with this. If they're local weddings, like he'll just raid the chocolate fountain. Like some of the lads who are setting up there a bit younger, so then he'll chill outside and play with them, and he'll enjoy it. He loves music as well.
Yeah.
So that's nice. Even when I'm practicing at home on the decks and stuff, the 2 kids love being around it.
Sure.
But in terms of that dynamic, yeah, I mean, we're gone Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then it's
It's
just
a sacrifice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But it's
Try and make up for it with holidays and weekdays and stuff in the evenings and stuff like that. But that's the only thing that we do lose is the weekends. But
of course,
I think everyone in our industry, wedding industry, will tell you that.
Yeah, not
generally.
just
the
anyone, catering, decor,
they all make that sacrifice, and it is hard.
Other DJs in the industry that we know from London. And
do your wives work?
No, Sandy doesn't.
Okay.
She did have she's got law degree. She's got LLP. She was working when we got married, and then she was at Next Head Office for a bit, and then once we had the first kid, I said, "Well, you don't need to work." She did want to work,
Yeah.
but then we planned to have another kid. She wants a third. I said no, but yeah, but it's a full-time job now with those 2.
So you get some time during the week, right?
Oh yeah,
'Cause at least she's at home. What about your wife?
100%.
yeah, she works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's more difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, because she's obviously at work in the week, and then in the week I don't have a Mondays off, to be honest with you, because like Raj is normally in the office Monday to Friday, but I need Monday off because obviously I'm on the road setting up with the boys and all that sort of stuff as well. So I take Monday normally off.
Yeah.
And just evenings really. So I mean, we have the odd weekend or odd Saturday or Sunday off, don't we? Which always helps because people think, oh, I'm sitting at home doing nothing, but it's a bonus for us. We're like, great, get to spend it with the family and do something. So it's always a special treat when we do have time with the family.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
So, but again, anybody that's set up a business will talk about the number of hours. But the thing that compensates, and you've said it today, and I hear it all the time, and it's true in my case. If you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
So only other people see the hours.
That's right.
When I was much younger, I was been very fortunate to spend time with really very aspirational people. It's a very dear friend of mine, he'd be in the office till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and he's really, really rich. And you're young and you're stupid, and you think, what the hell? I'd be, on the beach.
Partying and stuff.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you can't get on the beach until you do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And then it dawned on me many, many years later that he didn't see it as work.
No.
I saw it as work.
Yeah, but he's enjoying it. Yeah.
And one of the things that I really learned from him was that he said, never leave anything till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So no matter how long it took him to clear his calls, clear his desk would be clean when he left.
Yeah,
and in the morning he'd come back to fresh. And and that's something that I carry with me until today. Doesn't matter what time it gets to.
Just do it.
Yeah, just get it done, right? And so that's very important.
Agree. Yeah.
So tell me now, so what does the future look like in 2 ways? One is we've obviously discussed that people are changed, through the functions with what we're going through right now.
That's what I mean, Kam. It's $1 million question at the minute, isn't it, with the pandemic? I mean, forget weddings, we can't even get a daria done at the minute. The barbers are not open or nothing. So that's just it with weddings as well. I mean, it's a difficult one, Kam. I mean, what we think it's gonna resume hopefully in the next 6 months to 8 months, let's say, but it will be a lot less numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean our typical Punjabi wedding, 350, 400, going up to anything to 600-700 people. That's not going to happen anymore. I reckon they might say right 150, 200 max.
Yeah.
So it'll be more intimate. The bigger venues will struggle, that hold a lot more people and stuff like that. But even with caterers, they might struggle because obviously some of them make their money on mass, don't they?
Yeah.
So it depends. Some people might think, you know what, we've got smaller numbers, we can spend more money, so we'll go all out with the setups, the decor, the roti. Or some might think, you know what, bande ghatte, why are we going to spend that much money? Let's just do it cheap and cheerful. So it's a 50-50 thing at the minute. So we're not going to know until
I mean, every industry's going to suffer, isn't it, in the short term?
Well, it's going to be different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
You know, so some industries will boom.
we have to adapt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what we've got to do.
So then others will suffer.
Yeah.
And things, I don't see anytime soon everything going back to as it was. I don't think we haven't got that. So we've got a new normal, and we don't really know what that's going to look like right now.
Yeah, not right now, no.
Yeah.
Especially in the events industry, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'd say that's the hardest.
Yeah, it's
Because,
very, very up and down,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I mean, whether it's weddings, concerts, festivals that are happening, I think we're going to be one of the industries that will suffer the most.
Yeah.
Events was just literally the brakes were put on.
Absolutely.
And there was no real support offered, actually. People have signed a petition for the government to. But you look at your festivals, concerts, how many people has a knock-on effect for. So yeah, it's
the whole music industry. Even look at the artists. Some of them rely on gigs and stuff to go out in concerts and perform, and look at them.
I mean, I spoke to a good friend of mine, like Jazz Dambi, the singer, and he's got a couple of songs lined up, and he said to me, I'm not going to release the dance floor type ones, because what's the point? Because they'll be popular for a time. Weddings are a big thing on that, right? So they'll be big at weddings, and he's thinking there's no point releasing them now, because they'll be big and then they'll quickly fall again. So he's releasing more slower ones that you can sort of listen to in your car, that kind of thing. He'll save them for when weddings can start again. See, it affects. There's so many different angles from it.
Yeah, but that's adapting, isn't it?
Adaptation, that's exactly what it is.
I mean, there's no movies being released right now.
Yeah,
no, exactly.
Right.
There's so many films that are meant to come out.
Yeah.
They're not going to, and then they're not going to release.
No,
because they're not going to make no money otherwise.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So challenging times, right?
For everybody.
Yeah, challenging times.
Yeah.
But those that adapt the best, there'll be no better times.
No,
exactly.
That's right. That's right.
So there's opportunity, and it's that fittest thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Those that adapt the best will thrive in whatever comes as norm. But what about you guys? What happens now? What are the plans for you in the future personally, and for the business?
Well, we've been growing sort of year on year as it is. We probably need to get new premises soon. We've just bought loads of new equipment and stuff like that. We've not even tested it out, actually, because
just before the lockdown, we bought loads of equipment and we went to pick it up, and it was in Europe, and we were literally like, we need to get it now before we come out of the EU. We're gonna have problems at the border and stuff. So we literally took an Arctic lorry down.
Remember Brexit?
Because of Brexit, yeah. So we took an Arctic lorry down. And literally, I remember, Raj, it happened, didn't it? And we bought it back,
that was in Feb,
and 3 weeks later, it's like, right, coronavirus lockdown, and it's just been sitting there. And we need to prepare. We need to get that all sorted out, and we need to. Like I said, we're outgrowing this place now, so premises will be next for us, and just adapt. That's what we're going to do. We're here to stay, so we're not going anywhere. So Kikli Roadshow, we're still here to stay, so we're not going anywhere at all.
Yeah.
So it's just adapting to the future and see what it holds.
Okay. So this business has taken you all around the world?
Yeah, we do a lot of destination weddings. I mean, I'd never been to Australia, and we did 2 weddings. We did the first one together. I didn't do the second one, but it's just the flight there is just a nightmare. So I sent him.
That was this year,
and it was 2nd of Jan. Yeah. So we did New Year's Eve, the dinner and dance we do, and these guys flew out on New Year's Day.
Yeah, January 1st.
So, but again, so when we went to Australia, my wife's Bibi lives there.
Okay.
And she's in her 90s now. She probably hasn't got very long to go now. She's got assisted care and stuff. I got to meet her because a client from Australia, both the bride and groom are from Australia, they booked us out there. So that was a really good bonus. But we did some amazing places. Like we did a wedding not last year, 2 years ago. It was the Pullman Tower Hotel in front of the Eiffel Tower. Like they had their first dance at 10 when the Eiffel Tower lit up,
Wow.
and it was stunning. Like Lake Como,
California.
yeah.
Well, we did Lake Como together.
Yeah, I was met you in Lake Como. That's right. That's when I
Yeah.
first met you. That's right.
That's right. That's right. So, but you made a holiday of that, didn't you? Because you took
Yeah,
your wife
I took the
with you.
wife. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we went to Milan.
Yeah,
I went up to Switzerland, just on the border,
that's
wasn't
right.
it?
That's right.
We did shopping, so it's been really good like that. And we've done Marbella, we've done so many places.
California, Canada,
Yeah.
Dubai.
Long haul, short haul.
Dubai on the boats,
Yeah, Dubai was amazing. We did
yacht parties, and
boat
stuff.
party, Jaguar party on the boat that docked outside like the Palm.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. It was
fantastic.
amazing. So, yeah, and again, like we got to meet some really good people. You make good connections, good friends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's taken us to a lot of places.
Sure.
Yeah.
This
Did
business
you ever imagine that when
Never.
two 16-year-olds?
Never.
Never.
We literally started off thinking we're going to do a Jaguar party, going to get roti in a plastic, the plastic thali where they hand it down. But nah, never would you imagine we'd do this. And that's what we love about it,
Yeah.
I say, because we got our dreams have taken us to places we'd never imagined. And it's
Yeah.
been brilliant.
Incredible. So fantastic journey so far,
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but long way to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
So where does the business go? How does it expand? Because
To be fair, we have already we already got to do the car hire along with the DJ side. We did do marquees. That was more Sukh, to be fair, than me. And he branched out into marquees, and it was like the top end stuff. It wasn't like your typical tent in the back garden. On
no,
40 people.
really.
It was top end marquees, and it was just we were so busy on the DJ side we had to leave it.
Yeah.
We even did decor for a while, and that was really busy. So there's other areas of the wedding industry we could expand into again. So
But
maybe
we took a step back from the decor and
Yeah.
the marquees and concentrate on the roadshow. And
That's
because
it,
of
yeah.
that, we've grew the roadshow. I mean, like you said, there's 4 DJs now, and there's a team of about 20 of us.
that was a whole quality over quantity again.
Yeah.
We wanted
Yeah.
to concentrate on one thing. Because it's not like it used to be, DJ 20, 25 years ago where you used to rock. You probably set up in an hour, pack away in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And if it was like a 1 till 7 wedding, you'd be home for 8.
Yeah.
Now you've got full scale productions going on, overhead lighting. It might take you 2-3 days to set the venue up.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. I remember we spoke at the Marriott last year.
Yeah.
And you were saying, Cam, it'll be like 4-5 o'clock tomorrow morning when we get home
Yeah,
after
100%. Yeah.
packing everything up.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is this, that like we said, it doesn't feel like work.
No, it doesn't. No.
The rewards are incredible,
Yeah.
and they're not just monetary rewards, right?
No,
Like you said, the contacts, the friends, the destinations.
Yeah, that's right.
All of that comes as a package, right?
It does, yeah, 100%.
I
Yeah.
met a lot of people through this industry.
Yeah.
Got to know a lot of people, families, and
Good friends.
people in the industry,
Yeah.
and made loads of friends from it. So
It's incredible.
Yeah.
I always thought that you would franchise your business out because how the
Yeah.
vans are sign written and everything.
see,
It looks like a business.
yeah.
that
We
needs
had
to be
we had
franchised.
plans to expand into Canada
Mm-hmm.
because my family's out there, and we're like, should we open a branch in Canada and stuff? But
We've had offers as well.
We've had
People-
offers from
people
other
have asked
DJs
us
and
to-
stuff.
Yeah.
but we've just not looked into that
Yeah.
as yet. So we'll see how that goes. If coronavirus doesn't stop here, we'll have to go to Canada, America, and start DJing there. If the lockdowns are easier, so that's what we might have to start doing.
Well, look, thank you very much. Yeah, really appreciate the
Thank you
time
for
that
having
we
us.
spent
Thank you
together.
Thank you so much.
And so, for our guests watching, I hope that you're totally inspired by these amazing 2 guys that went out and got their education and then did what they really, really loved. But the advice that they've given is, you know what? Your parents are trying to do the best for you, so listen to them. You may not agree with it, and just suck it up. And for parents, if your son or your daughter comes home and says, I want to do something that you don't really understand because it's not being a doctor or an accountant or a solicitor, listen to them, hear them out, because you never know. These 2 guys, through what is essentially their business of work, have travelled the world, and they continue to travel the world, and they're both relatively young men. So, this could go absolutely anywhere. So, until next time, we'll see you again. Thank you for watching.